At his memorial service last weekend, tens of thousands attended. A video showing Kirk in his final moments played.
Wow, look at that.
Beautiful. You already know what it is. It's your boy Laid Back with another reaction, another review, another episode. Law and Crime. You up to bat. Bah! It's your boy Laid Back. Welcome back to my channel. Two things we gotta do. You gotta hit that subscribe button. I'm drinking this water. You already know what it is, man. You are the prize in 2025. You are the prize in 2025. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the notification bell. Stay up to date with all the videos, man. First of all, I definitely want to say rest in peace to Charlie Kirk, man. For sure, definitely want to say that. Of course, people have been hearing what's been going on, but we got a video, 7 disturbing developments in Charlie Kirk's assassination. I was kind of on the fence on should I cover this or not. So y'all let me know in the comments, man, should I cover this stuff? Because I know it's kind of a touchy subject for sure with people and their opinions and all that stuff. So these are 7 disturbing developments in Charlie Kirk's assassination. Let's go ahead and get into it. Fire Squad, what's popping? Let's get it.
The man accused of murdering Charlie Kirk now has a lawyer, and he'll be back in court soon as he faces the possibility of the death penalty if convicted. And the investigation is far from over despite the arrest. I look at the biggest developments in the case.
It's crazy.
Welcome to Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette Levy. It's been a little more than 2 weeks since Charlie Kirk's life was taken by an assassin's bullet. 1 minute, Kirk was speaking to a big crowd on the campus of Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, and the next, he was gone. Shot in the neck. His wife, Erica, said the doctor told her that Charlie Kirk died instantly. At his memorial service last weekend, tens of thousands attended. A video showing Kirk in his final moments played.
Wow, look at that.
Beautiful.
And that was just part of that video. And it wasn't long after that Kirk's life ended and a manhunt began. There were false starts as far as arrests go, but then a possible shooter was identified through surveillance video. Photos were released, and a mother 3 hours south of Orem in St. George believed she recognized the young man in the photos. She believed it was her son.
Robinson's mother explained that over the last year or so, Robinson had become more political and had started to lean more to the left, becoming more pro-gay and trans rights oriented. She stated that Robinson began to date his roommate, a biological male who was transitioning genders. This resulted in several discussions with family members, but especially between Robinson and his father, who have very different political views. In one conversation before the shooting, Robinson mentioned that Charlie Kirk would be holding an event at UVU, which Robinson said was a stupid venue for the event. Robinson accused Kirk of spreading hate.
Tyler Robinson's parents and a family friend convinced him to turn himself in. The sheriff of Washington County said there was a negotiation of sorts because Robinson was afraid of being shot, ironically. The manhunt ended after 33 hours. The Utah County prosecutor filed information charging Tyler Robinson with aggravated murder, tampering with evidence, and witness tampering. County Attorney Jeff Gray read the text messages that he said Robinson sent to his roommate, his romantic partner, who was transitioning from male to female.
On September 10th, 2025, the roommate received a text message from Robinson which said, "Drop what you're doing. Look under my keyboard." The roommate looked under the keyboard and found a note that stated, quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it."
Whoa. Whoa. This is crazy. You want to talk about premeditated? Look under my keyboard, bruh.
Quote, "I had the opportunity to take out Charlie Kirk, and I'm going to take it." Police found a photograph of this note. The following text exchange then took place. After reading the note, the roommate responded, "What? You're joking, right?" Robinson, I am still okay, my love, but am stuck in Orem for a little while longer yet. Shouldn't be long until I can come home, but I gotta grab my rifle still.
Wow.
To be honest, I had hoped to keep this secret till I died of old age. I am sorry to involve you. Roommate, you weren't the one who did it, right? Robinson, I am.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Roommate, I thought they caught the person. Robinson, no, they grabbed some crazy old dude, then interrogated someone in similar clothing. I had planned to grab my rifle from my drop point shortly after, but most of that side of town got locked down. It's quiet, almost enough to get out, but there's one vehicle lingering. Roommate, why? Robinson, why did I do it? Roommate, yeah. Robinson, I had enough of his hatred. Some hate can't be negotiated out. If I am able to grab my rifle unseen, I will have left no evidence.
The county attorney said that rifle was a 30-06 and had been given to Robinson by his grandfather. Those text messages continued.
Roommate, how long have you been planning this? Robinson, a bit over a week, I believe. I can get close to it, but there is a squad car parked right by it.
Yo, this sounds completely nuts. Dude is literally texting back and forth. This is what he's trying to do. This is his goal. This is his MO. This is what's happening. He said there's so much hate in him, he can't negotiate it out. Like, he's seriously like, yo, bro, there's no other option than to do what he think he needed to do, which was take his rifle. Let's just hear more. This is crazy.
They already swept that spot, but I don't want to chance it. Robinson again. I'm wishing I had circled back and grabbed it as soon as I got to my vehicle. I'm worried what my old man would do if I didn't bring back Grandpa's rifle. IDEK if it's had a serial number, but it wouldn't trace to me. I worry about prints. I had to leave it in a bush where I changed outfits.
Wow.
Didn't have the ability or time to bring it with. I might have to abandon it and hope they don't find prints. How the F will I explain losing it to my old man?
Wow.
Only thing I left was the rifle wrapped in a towel. Remember how I was engraving bullets? The F in messages are mostly a big meme. If I see notice bulge UWU on Fox News, I might have a stroke, all right. I'm going to have to leave it. That really effing sucks. Judging from today, I'd say Grandpa's gun does just fine, IDK. I think that was a $2K dollar scope.
Wow.
Wink, wink.
Wink, wink. Wink, wink.
Robinson again. Delete this exchange. Again, Robinson. My dad wants photos of the rifle. He says Grandpa wants to know who has what. The feds released a photo of the rifle, and it is very unique. He's calling me, RN. Not answering. Robinson. Since Trump got into office, my dad has been pretty diehard MAGA. Robinson. I'm going to turn myself in willingly. One of my neighbors here is a deputy for the sheriff. Again, you are all I worry about, love. That came from Robinson. Roommate, I'm much more worried about you. Robinson, don't talk to the media, please. Don't take any interviews or make any comments. If any police ask you questions, ask for a lawyer and stay silent.
And we're going to talk a little bit more about those texts later on with Sky Lazaro. There are still many, many questions about what could drive a one-time straight A student and a college scholarship recipient to want to take a person's life. An arrest may have been made, but the investigation is still ongoing. It's far from over. The FBI has said that Robinson's roommate is cooperating. Last Sunday, FBI Director Kash Patel posted on X that every possibility is being investigated. Patel wrote, "As the director of the FBI, I am committed to ensuring the investigation into Charlie Kirk's assassination is thorough and exhaustive, pursuing every lead to its conclusion. The full weight of America's law enforcement agencies are actively following the evidence that has emerged, but our efforts extend beyond initial findings. We are examining every facet of this assassination. We are meticulously investigating theories and questions, including the location from where the shot was taken, the possibility of accomplices."
So they letting you know off rip, they taking everything serious. They being super meticulous with theories, any type of leads or anything. They're taking everything on, and they taking everything on with full steam. They don't want any stone left unturned, and they being very cautious and very meticulous about how they going about the discovery and all of the information that they're getting from the situation.
The text message confession and related conversations, Discord chats, the angle of the shot and bullet impact, how the weapon was transported, hand gestures observed as potential signals near Charlie at the time of his assassination, and visitors to the alleged shooter's residence in the hours and days leading up to September 10th, 2025. Some details are known today, while others are still being pursued to ensure every possibility is considered. Our primary focus is to complete this investigation and deliver justice. To protect the integrity of the investigation and subsequent prosecution, we cannot release every piece of information we have to the public right now. We will ensure every question is addressed at the appropriate moment. Regarding specific details, such as questions about the plane that allegedly turned off its transponder after departing from an airport near the assassination site, we can share updates when answers are confirmed. After interviews with the pilot in consultation with the FAA, we determined the transponder was not turned off. Incomplete flight data in rural areas caused the apparent gap. The entire FBI mourns the loss of Charlie Kirk. We will not rest until justice is served, and our investigation into this assassination will continue until every question is answered. So right there, Patel is saying they're investigating every theory, probably just to run down every lead and every possibility to see what's true and what's not. Patel testified in front of Congress last week and said this about Discord, the messaging platform, whose spokesperson has said that Tyler Robinson didn't plan the crime on the site, but he admitted to the shooting after the fact. Take a listen.
After the fact, let's just keep going, man.
But he admitted to the shooting after the fact. Take a listen.
Reports have suggested that the FBI is investigating a broader network of groups that may have had some knowledge of the shooter's plans. Can you give us any details on that? Following up what you've already said in public, how's the FBI working to find other potential accomplices, folks who may have known about the shooter's plans, folks who may have encouraged him? Any update on any of that?
So in terms of what we do for an interrogation perspective, we go and reach out to the family and community immediately. And we've conducted those investigations and interrogations with local law enforcement. And we're continuing to do that because those closest to the suspect are going to hopefully know the most about the suspect and his beliefs and his ideology. On top of that, unfortunately, it has been leaked that there was a Discord chat. And for those unfamiliar with it, it's a gaming chat room online that the suspect participated in. So what we're doing, we've already done, is serve legal process, not just on Discord, so that the information we gathered is sustained and held in a evidentiary posture that we could use in prosecution should it be decided to do so. And we're also going to be investigating anyone and everyone involved in that Discord chat.
Okay, very good. I see the public reports that the Discord thread had as many as 20 additional users. It sounds like you're trying to run down all of that to see if that's accurate, who else may have been on that thread, what they may have known. Is that fair to say?
It's a lot more than that, and we're running them all down.
It's a lot more than 20?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
And you're running all of that to ground.
Every single one.
Now, Erica Kirk, Charlie Kirk's widow, and now the CEO of Turning Point USA, the organization that Charlie Kirk founded when he was just 18 years old, spoke at his memorial service about the loss of her husband.
On the afternoon of September 10th, I arrived at a Utah hospital to do the unthinkable, to look directly at my husband's murdered body.
Dang.
I saw the wound that ended his life. I felt everything you would expect to feel.
Yo, like I said, condolences to his family. And this is horrible to hear about this, but to hear his wife talking about looking at his murdered body and like, I can't even imagine the stuff that was going through her mind while going through that and while speaking right now. Like, it's crazy.
I felt shock. I felt horror and a level of heartache that I didn't even know existed.
And there was a really unbelievable moment at this service where Erica Kirk, who's mourning the loss of her husband, Charlie, and she now has 2 young children to raise without their father, she offered incredible words of mercy and grace to his alleged assassin.
Really?
That young man. On the cross, our Savior said, "Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do."
Ooh.
That man, that young man, I forgive him.
Whoa. Yo, you talking about something powerful. Like, I ain't gonna lie. It brought tears to my... Yo, you talking about strength? You talking about strength? Respect and salute to this woman, man. That is major.
Now, remember, at Robinson's initial court appearance, he didn't have an attorney, but now that's changed. The county commission has approved hiring Kathy Nestor to represent Robinson. She has another famous or infamous client, depending on how you look at it, in Utah. Nestor and her law partner also represent Corey Richins, the children's book author accused of murdering her husband, Eric, by poisoning him back in March of 2022. So Kathy Nestor and whichever co-counsel she chooses are now Tyler Robinson's lawyers, and he's due back in court on Monday. So to talk about the very latest, I want to bring in Sky Lazaro. She is a criminal defense attorney in Utah. So Sky, I want your thoughts first and foremost on the choice of defense attorney here. You know, they've appointed a public defender. It is Kathy Nestor, and I guess she has co-counsel. She's going to need co-counsel. She will need a lot of help, a mitigation expert. So you are familiar with her. She is part of the team that took over Corey Richins' defense. So tell us about her taking this case.
That's correct. Kathy's been in Utah for a long time. She worked for the Federal Defender's Office, doing public defense work for them for a long time. And now she's out in private practice, but has taken the appointment and in both the Richins case and in the Robinson case as court-appointed counsel. I believe what happened is the Utah County Public Defender's Office basically said, we don't have the resources to do this. You know, you're going to have to get somebody else appointed on this case and fund it separately from what allotment is given to us already by the county. And so I don't know what that selection process, looked like, if they reached out individually to people. I believe that they were reaching out to people to see who had interest in it or who would take it. And I believe Kathy agreed.
And they'd have to obviously be death qualified. They'd have to be, qualified to handle a case such as this one. And as a former federal defender, I'm sure she is. This is a lot to take on, though. I mean, she's got the Richins case coming up next year. This, of course, unless they say, yeah, we want a speedy trial, I don't see this going to trial early next year. Late next year, probably the very earliest this could happen, if not 2027.
Really?
That's correct.
Y'all got to inform me in the comments. Why would it take so long for court to start? This lady said it could potentially start in 2027. What would be the reason for it to take so long? Is it because of all the details and all the stuff that they got to accumulate and stuff like that? Y'all let me know in the comment.
Utah, our statute requires that people be qualified under Rule 8 to be death penalty counsel. The ABA has standards out there for the way these cases need to be defended. She is definitely going to need co-counsel and mitigation experts in this case. I think this is going to be a very costly and time-consuming case on top of Richens. But, Kathy's done this a long time, and if she, has things set up to have appropriate counsel to help, because she has another practice as well, private practice as well, to help with those cases, to afford the time for the both. I would assume she's, looked at that closely, and the county doesn't seem to have any issues with that as well.
So talk to me about what's going to happen on Monday. Obviously, Tyler Robinson did not have counsel during his first court appearance. Greg Skordas appeared and said, look, I'm not representing him, but I'm assisting and helping find somebody. So he was kind of a consultant looking to help find counsel for Tyler Robinson, counsel that was qualified, that could take this case. Maybe they even took bids. Who knows? I don't know how they did this. But what's going to happen on Monday when Tyler Robinson appears?
This will be his first appearance with his appointed attorney. And so I don't expect a lot to happen in this case. My guess is or what I would expect to happen is that the court will put on the record that Ms. Nestor has taken on the appointment. She's willing to abide by the standards and the statutory guidelines in defending him. And I think they'll just sort of talk next steps. Do we need to just set another status conference? What's the status of discovery? I don't think we're getting to a preliminary hearing anytime soon in this case, although, he may assert some speedy trial rights and decide that's how he wants to do it. But I think this investigation is ongoing. On the part of the government as well. And so there's going to be additional discovery that continues to come out. So my guess is this is really just going to be a status. This is, you get to come to court with your lawyer. Here's the next steps.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I would kind of expect, because we're so early on in this case, and maybe they've turned over some discovery already, but still the discovery in this case will be voluminous, and the investigation is really ongoing. I mean, they may have some discovery to hand over right now, but this investigation is far from over, the way the FBI director makes it sound.
I would agree with that. In Utah, they have to turn over any information that they relied upon in filing the information. So any discovery that was relied upon in filing the charging document needs to be provided to the defense within, I believe it's 10 days or a very short period of time. But in most major cases or major felony cases, especially this case, discovery is always ongoing. I think there's always things that come in late, or things the defense asks the state to go get for them, and supplemental discovery requests, things along that nature.
So the discovery is going to be voluminous. And one thing that she is going to receive in this discovery are those text messages that the prosecutor says are between Tyler Robinson and his roommate, who was his romantic partner.
And that's my thing. Like, if they got the text messages, according to what we heard earlier, if those was accurate and those was the text messages coming from Robinson, he was basically saying that he did it. Now, I get what they're saying. It's a lot of different moving pieces. It's a lot of stuff they got to go through. It's a lot of discovery. But essentially, he pretty much admitted to it, didn't he? Y'all let me know in the comments, man. Y'all let me know.
And these things read like a confession.
That's what I said.
I mean, it's very weird to me, Sky. I don't know. I mean, there's just something about them that don't sit right with me. And I don't know if it's because I just have a hard time believing that a 22-year-old texts his significant other and says all this stuff on text. I don't know. There's just something about it. It just seems very strange. The roommate seems shocked. Like, what? That was you on here? And he says, remember when I was engraving bullets? Like, that's just something people sit around and do. I don't think that's something people sit around and do. What are your thoughts on the text message
Crazy.
confession.
These texts are different or weird. I don't know how to characterize them either. There also seem to be a snapshot. I know, we know that the roommate was cooperating with police and provided these. And so I think what we saw come out through the information is just a small snapshot of these. I agree with you. I don't think the roommate, at least based on these text messages, had no idea that any of this was going to happen, or even after it did happen, that it was him until, he said that, yeah, it was me, and then reacted with shock. I would hope that through this discovery process, they get a full download. They're at least probably going to get one of Tyler's phone. And they should get my guess is they'll go get the full text string between him and the roommate or anybody else he was communicating with about this incident as well, because they seem a little, I don't want to say disjointed, but they don't really make a lot of sense. That you just all of a sudden would be, I'm going to go do this and not tell anybody and not tell the people closest to me.
If he knows what he's going to do, and he knows potentially people around him that was either one, try to talk him out of it, or two, try to stop him or report it, why would he feel like he need to tell somebody about what he's trying to do when he know he already out of pocket and he knows the path that he's taking? It's probably not going to be encouraged by the people that's close to him.
There may be other communications on other platforms as well that maybe the state wasn't even aware of at the time that they filed charges. So I think we're going to see more come out of that to kind of, at least kind of build the picture of what it really was. We see text messages and communications used in cases all the time, and it's easy to take a snapshot and make it look maybe worse than it was or better than it was, without getting the full context of a conversation.
I mean, but he literally admits to shooting Charlie Kirk.
Right.
If those can be authenticated, and those, there's still the rules of evidence, if those are authenticated and those come in and you can't keep them out, which I don't think you can keep them out if they can authenticate them, those are really, really damaging text messages. Yeah. I don't know how you get past them. It's an admission.
How could you?
Yeah, you're right about those text messages because those text messages are definitely disjointed. The ellipses on there, you can see that they're showing, okay, this is one group of text messages. Then we have another group of text messages, then another. It is concerning that the roommate, I guess, and he's 22 years old, but the whole thing about, there's been a lot made of, he didn't go to the police or the feds. They had to find him and interview him. But if he's cooperating, and they've been saying that the roommate is cooperating, I don't know if I expect really anything to come of this as far as the roommate goes, as far as charges go. Could be just a cooperating witness who was scared.
And I don't think that they will charge him unless something else comes out or they become aware of more information. The fact that he didn't come forward right away, I don't think that is abnormal in cases. I see that all the time. And in cases where boyfriends, girlfriends, husbands, friends, they know what people have done and they don't come forward. Now, as long as they don't lie when police come.
Do they get charged if they know somebody did something? Let me just hear what she got to say, because she might clear it up for me before I ask my question.
Friends, they know what people have done and they don't come forward. Now, as long as they don't lie when police come and interview them and they tell the truth and cooperate, they're probably not facing obstruction charges. As long as they didn't do something to destroy evidence or somehow impede the investigation, simply not coming forward, I don't think would be grounds to charge someone. Although, this case, they may be more aggressive in it, but I would say in most cases, unless there's something more out there, I don't expect to see charges on the roommate just because he didn't come forward initially. They had to go find him.
Let's talk about the possibility of federal charges now. That's been discussed. It sounds like the feds really, really, really would like to charge him. But Tyler Robinson, as far as we know, there's no allegation that he crossed state lines. He was from the St. George area. He drives up north to Utah County and allegedly kills Charlie Kirk. There's no, I'm trying to see where the federal part of this comes in. It could have something to do with if they find out that he used an internet platform to communicate with people about this. At this point, they're saying he only said after the fact that he did it on Discord. I'm not seeing anything that could be federal here just yet.
I agree with you. And I think that's why we haven't seen a federal indictment come forth either, or even just a charging document. They're going to have to find something that's going to trigger federal jurisdiction, some sort of interstate commerce type movement. Now, if they go through his phone and it turns out there was a conspiracy or he was paid by somebody out of state, maybe then you can start to get there with individuals. But based on what we know, I don't see a federal murder charge coming, and I don't think that there's grounds for it based on what they have, or at least what we know in the press right now on this case. I do know that they would probably really like to get him charged somehow, but if the state's going to pursue the death penalty, and Utah County has been very active in filing death penalty cases, I think you're just better to let the one prosecution run. If you were concerned that the state wasn't actually going to pursue death penalty or was going to cave on it, maybe then you find a way to charge them federally too. But, at this point, as much as I think they'd like to for political reasons, I agree with you. I don't think that they have the facts to support it right now.
Right now, I'm not seeing it, but we should just wait and see what comes of it. You never know what they could turn up, I guess. They say it's an ongoing investigation, but right now I don't see it. Sky Lazaro, we'll stay tuned. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Tyler Robinson is being held in the Utah County Jail without bail. He'll be back in court on Monday, and Law and Crime will have that appearance covered for you, so stay tuned.
All right, guys, that was 7 disturbing developments in Charlie Kirk's assassination. You made it this far. You are a real one for real. Make sure you put that in the comments. Once again, I want to say rest in peace to Charlie Kirk and condolences to his family and friends. This is wild. Like I said, I didn't know if I wanted to cover this or not, so y'all let me know in the comments. Do y'all want me to stay up to date with this? Because I know this is a very delicate situation, but it's a lot going on. He texting his roommate / lover. He's on Discord after the fact. This is wild, and that's why I said, why is it gonna take so long to potentially 2027 to start the trial? But they say they gotta let everything do its due process, but it's a lot going on. He's essentially, allegedly admitted that he did do it. But crazy. And Charlie Kirk's wife is extremely strong. Wow. Till next time, man. Self-love and positivity. Fire Squad, I got you and you know it.